Namaste and welcome to Sonalijoshi's Astrology channel. Today I'm going to show you what will be the horoscope of a child who will be born in 2026. What kind of strengths they will have, what kind of careers would be good for them to pursue, and how parents can work with them, give them all the sanskars, give them all the upbringing that makes them stronger. And to those of you who are new to astrology, anytime we begin a new year, whether it's English New Year or New Year like Gudi Padwa from the Indian Hindu way, those are important dates, important times, because the placements of planets in the nakshatras or the houses or the signs determine or give a lot of insights about how the year is going to unfold. So 1st of January 2026, if I create the horoscope for that, we'll realize what are the placements and what are the strengths. And this will be helpful for those of you who are planning to start their family. If somebody is already pregnant and their due date is going to be close by to 1st of January, this horoscope will help them, give them strength, give them remedies to be caring parents, nurturing parents, and support their child with full strength, care and happiness. Remember one thing, for any horoscope, the strength of sun and moon needs to be really good so that the life is better. These are the two luminaries, and hence if you are a parent, grandparent, watch this video carefully. If you are somebody who is thinking about getting married and starting your family soon, still watch this video because it will still unfold many things even for the rest of the 2026. Now, to begin with, let us see what are the planet placements. If you are somebody living in India, for example, New Delhi, and when the January 1, 2026 begins, the planet placement is the ascendant is going to be rising in Hasta Nakshatra with Virgo sign, Jupiter placed in the 10th house, Moon is going to be in the Kritika Nakshatra, Saturn will be still in Pisces, Rahu is going to be transiting to Aquarius, and we have 4 planets in the 4th house. With January 1, 2026 in New Delhi, Mars, Mercury, Sun and Venus are in the Sagittarius sign. If you ask me, this is a great placement. With Ketu in the 12th house in Leo, 4 planets in the 4th house, the child is born for a particular reason. They are born due to somebody praying for their birth. And if you see the nakshatras, there is Venus placed in Purvashada, we have Mars placed in Purvashada, Sun is also in Purvashada. Purvashada is a nakshatra which shows either your divine blessings or curses. But with Mercury and Venus typically in Purvashada Nakshatra, you'll always see some kind of blessings coming into place. With the malefic planets like Mars in Purvashada, people will have to fight for something, fight for their values, for their principles, or make sure that they take care of the pending karma, help others, and move forward in life. Purvashada is a nakshatra of values, principles, and starting a war on something. And the war is usually for creating the strategy to win that war. And it's for the betterment of humanity. So these people are usually born in January 1st. They are going to be the people who are self-aware. You will notice the child understands many things. If Mars, Sun, Mercury or Venus is going to be their ascendant lord as the time changes on 1st of January, they are born with something that they already know. So these kids will be usually talking about things that they already know, they are good at it, and they can deal with it. The one good part is the kid will be born to take care of all the challenges that they face. Hurdles, obstacles, because there will be somebody who will be helping them. They have some kind of divine help, and that is the great part. So you must be saying, what are the roles parents can do? Obviously, parents are going to inculcate those samskars that are bringing in the kids, that is about values. Sagittarius is about long-term things. Sagittarius and Purvashada are about the loyalty, and hence for kids growing up, parents have to train them about to look at the things from long term. Many kids will usually show particular liking or disliking towards the foods that they have. Usually the child will be happy child unless the 12th house will show many other malefic aspects in the horoscope. You may see some kind of anxious thoughts, some kind of rigidity when it comes to dealing with many people, because these kids will be growing up in a secure environment, in an environment that is based on people who are closed in their circles, their close-knit families. They'll be well cared by most of the times, and you will notice they have some anxiety when they start to deal with people who are unknown to them, people who are different from them. And this is where parents have to make them aware of different kind of cultures, philosophies, systems in the community. Fourth house is about your community, your locality, and you will notice there are people who are from different religions. They could be from different views towards things. And parents' job is to make sure that child is aware of these differences, aware of these different things, but still child grows up without judging people, because at this time Rahu is into the nakshatra of Shatabhisha, where it's a culmination of Rahu energy. You want the kid to grow up without guilt, without fear or judgmental view. Accept people as they are. And this is a difficult task, because whenever Sun is in the fourth house, usually families are about, okay, we do it this way. We have been doing it for generations like this, but these things will have to let go, as Jupiter is in the sign of Mercury. So you will have to grow your skills, grow your understanding, awareness about different ethnicities, different cultures, and still be non-judgmental. Child will be usually good in the way they read things, understand things. They will have most of the basic skills needed to communicate, but they will have to accept different people wholeheartedly. And this is where the foundation for businesses is beginning. Placement of moon by Indian cities is in the nakshatra of Kritika, and then it goes into Rohini. If your child will be born in the United States, it's still in the Rohini. And both these nakshatras are Sun and Moon nakshatras. So it shows child is going to grow up with that support from parents, good understanding of that. And sometimes child will be going to different places, child will be exposed to different kind of ethnicities where they may accept those things. But Kritika is a nakshatra of Sun, where people have awareness, people have organizational understanding and the leadership qualities. Those born with Kritika nakshatra moon, they'll be into most of the authority positions. They can go into many fields like lawyers, they could be into food processing, but on the side of managing things. So many of them will be dealing with technical professions. Kritika is really good with numbers, patterns. So these kids will grow up with a knowledge of working with things based on the big data. You'll also realize these kids are naturally born with understanding of what is good for them, how to take a critical remark, and they understand the pain that arises when somebody uses words that are like curse words, derogatory words, or insulting words. You will realize these people, when they grow up, these kids, they will have great understanding about how to make sure somebody feels at ease. Because Kritika is about food, nutrition. It is about making sure somebody is independent, but they need to go back to a situation where they are more self-aware. So these kids will be working in the professions that deal with rehabilitation. Maybe you are a drug addict and try to let go of those addictions. You could be somebody who are getting over some physical issues, and you need to go to the rehabilitation center to get back into the regular physical form, the activities. So these kids will be really good in things that are related to bringing back people into normalcy. Rehabilitation, making sure people let go of their bad habits, let go of their injuries, overcome the faults that they have, and grow up to be better people. On the Kritika side, if there is no malefic aspect on the moon in most of the other charts, then you will realize this kid is really at ease near the fireplace, or even sharp objects, because they are good at handling them when they grow up. Right from the childhood, you will see that precision. So they can be interested in cooking, they can be becoming great chefs, come up with good new kind of dishes that people will love. These people can also be surgeons. They can also have skills about tailoring, stitching things wherever needles are used, or even cloth and a connection is used. These people can be coming up with different kind of hairstyles, fashions, because it's a Surya Nakshatra being Kritika, and they have that understanding of how to make someone look better. So hairstylists, tailors, fashion designers, somebody who could be into the profession of changing somebody's image, making sure that self-esteem is high, that kind of professions where they are building somebody's image, helping somebody have high self-esteem. They have a spiritual base as well as they understand the practical things. Kritika works well in most of the professions, and slowly, right from the childhood, you will see a kid has the ability to earn in their 20s or maybe before that, because at the birth and in initial years, they will develop those skills faster, and by the time they are in their early 20s, they have ability to be at the authority positions and earn enough. Because Kritika is about independence, becoming someone that the child starts to sit down and eat on or his own. That is the place where Kritika comes into picture. The umbilical cord is cut and the kid is on the own for some of the basic tasks. So Kritika natives are highly skilled natives. They are good at numbers, they are good at finding patterns. So they could be great teachers, lawyers, any profession where you will have to come up with something that is out of the box but still going to be helpful for humanity. Unless this moon is completely aspected by malefics, and there are, in most of the charts it is afflicted, then and then issues will come. Otherwise, these people are ready to go into the workplace, school, any organization, and they are kind of unstoppable. They are straightforward. So you will realize these kids will not be really manipulative. On the other hand, they'll be straightforward. They'll call spade a spade. As we move from January to February, March and further on, you will see the planets that change Rashi every month. They will be changing. For example, Sun, Venus, Mercury and Mars, they will be slowly going through each sign. For example, if all of them were in, or most of them were in Sagittarius when it began, then it will go through Capricorn, then Aquarius, Pisces, or from Pisces to Aries, Taurus, and so on. Rahu and Ketu will also change their signs. The good part is Saturn still stays in the sign of Pisces, quite stabilized. We know the behavior patterns of Saturn in Pisces by then, and we understand how it is. I'm going to make a separate video about Rahu Ketu into the signs of Capricorn and Cancer. Do watch that video where you will understand what to expect from Rahu Ketu in that year and how the kids are going to use this energy as they grow up, because somebody will have this as their natal position of Rahu Ketu. So their Rahu Ketu return will happen after 18 years when again Rahu goes to Capricorn and Ketu goes to Cancer. The way kids who are born now with the placement of Rahu into, it was basically first in Pisces, then it's going to go to Aquarius, and now by then it's going to go to Capricorn. And Ketu is also going to change signs through Virgo, Leo, and then Cancer. So these are the kids who are going to grow up after 25 years, 20 years, and they will be the new workforce. They will be new talent that are going to find out solutions to whatever challenges we have at that time. And that's why these kids are equipped with it when they are born and as they are growing up in the first cycle of their Rahu Ketu return. And this is why astrology always becomes interesting, fascinating, because you can see a repetitive pattern with a new age demand talents that are already kids that are born are equipped with. There's one more thing I would like to point out here, that planets are moving through different rashis. So is Jupiter. And Jupiter is going at a very fast rate. Usually it goes through one rashi in 1 year. However, we'll notice by 25-26, Jupiter is going to go from Taurus all the way through almost Virgo. When the year 2026 ends, there will be kids who will have Jupiter placed in the sign of Leo. Before that, there will be a bunch of kids who will be born with exalted Jupiter. Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So these are the people who will understand what matters to the society, how to elevate the experience of masses, how to create theories, how to put out principles and the value system, just not the value system in terms of, say, happiness of life, different things that matter in life, but in addition to money, finances, as well as the abundance, wisdom of abundance. This kid will be able to relate to the masses and bring out different products, schemes, medicines that will give happiness, or that will create the sense of belonging, sense of community in all people. And always Jupiter gets exalted in the Cancer sign in that 12-year cycle. So there are kids who are born with displacement. Same way there are kids who are born with debilitated Jupiter. And society needs everybody. There's nothing good or bad about it. Everybody has to work with what they are given and then move forward. With year ending December 31st, 2026, whether you are in India or any part of the world, or United States, for example, New York, I mentioned how the planets are going to be. So the kids born at the end of the year will be coming out with the wisdom of understanding what it means to lead someone, be the leader, be at the center stage, take the ownership and start putting forth value system, theories that people can follow. Maybe they are the kids who will bring out new educational reforms when they grow up, because the fifth house is the natural sign related to education, mantra. It is related to any kind of getting the best position. When Jupiter is a natural 5th house, it is about the Purva Sanchit karma is definitely good. So whether Jupiter, your kid is born with Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter in Cancer, or Jupiter in Leo, the kid is born with certain kind of wisdom. And as the kid is growing up, you will see those glimpses of understanding. Okay, I know this mom, I know this dad, and I can do it. Because the kid has that natural ability to come up with those situations, solutions to those problems. And wherever Jupiter is placed, you have that, in a way, you will say the child has that ego that I can do it, I know it. But they definitely know it. And when they grow up, they are going to even sharpen their skills, strengthen their talents. And as parents, our job or your job is just to make sure that you trust your child, you love your child, take care of them, and navigate their childhood with strong foundation of values and principles. So when the year is ending on December 31st, 2026, if you are staying in New York or in the eastern part of America or even America, you will notice Mercury and Sun, they are in the sign of Sagittarius. Same way, when the year begins, there were planets in Sagittarius and Purvashadha Nakshatra. So this is another chance to grow, to learn, understand what works for you and continue it. Purvashada is a nakshatra of divine blessings. It is again giving you a chance to correct your mistakes, help someone, stand by someone with these placements. Jupiter and Mars will be in Leo. Rahu, Ketu are into Capricorn and Cancer axis. Rahu is in Dhanishta. Ketu will be in Aslesha. Ketu in Aslesha is definitely a placement which is difficult to deal with as a kid. And the reason being, Aslesha is about bondage and Ketu is planet of detachment. It is asking you to let go, detach, move on. And as a child, sometimes it becomes difficult what to hold on, what to let go. That means some kids will have pressures from friends, relatives, or it's just the way their class works, their schoolmates think. The kid could be different. Your upbringing could be different. So help your child to choose the right thing for them. Tell them what needs to let go. That day moon will be in the nakshatra of Chitra and Venus and moon are in the Libra sign. Saturn will be in Pisces as we spoke about. So year began when Jupiter was retrograde and year is also ending when Jupiter is retrograde. Throughout the year, other planets will also go through their retrograde motion and you will be given a chance to improve your craft, to again, working with your kid the way supports them. You'll be doing the same thing sometimes again and again, even at work, even in parenting. And there is a reason for that, because the planets want you to spend more energy in doing that, doing it better, improving it, and focusing on the process. Rahu's placement in Dhanishta, it's time to teach kids when they are younger, when they're in a age where they understand to follow parents for a reason. Tell them to stand by somebody unconditionally. Dhanishta is a very great nakshatra where people will have lots of skills. They can be good at sports, they could be good at playing an instrument, dance, music, whatever it is. But the most important part is they will need focus and they will need acknowledgement. And let the child grow with the thought that you will get recognition, you will get acknowledgement when you stand by something unconditionally. Whether it's a principal, person, whatever you choose, support that cause unconditionally and train your child with this thought, with these principles. And for that, many times parents have to show it by action. Once child sees that, you will notice they are growing up really well, because these are the future doctors, actors, actresses. They could be future researchers, different people who are really good at finding future technologies. Kids will be born in all different nakshatras all through the year as planets are transiting through various months. But have trust in yourself, have trust in your upbringing, and focus broadly on humanity, betterment for humanity. And for that, I understand sometimes we need to focus on ourselves first. Take care of your health, take care of your mental health, emotional health. Have a close-knit circle of friends and relatives who support you. If it is not possible, then seek the professional help. Go to the counselor, go to the therapist. Many times astrologers combine these two things because there is still a lot of stigma about seeking help on mental health, and it is okay. Do what works for you, but understand you need to heal first, then you can take care of your child. Depending on your own placements, all parents will go through some ups and downs, some changes in their health, some changes at workplace. In many horoscopes, you will see after the birth of child, parents' economic status becomes really well. In some cases, parents might lose money. but that is based on your own previous karma, and that's why things are happening. Many times we need to overcome that challenge, and sometimes we need to accept that. And life gives this maturity, life gives these chances and lessons. Astrology's job is to give a direction, show the path, and the path has to be always about greater good and thinking about the whole community. And for that matter, astrologers have to let go of their ego and keep their selfishness aside, and that is the most challenging thing. But understand, we are all part of the society, we all care for each other, and I personally trust on the good nature of every person. Every person is born with their own talents, and they're born with their good qualities as human beings, and I will choose to trust on that. Hope this video about somebody born on 1st of January and end of the year 2026 will help you raise your kids. If you're planning a family, take that decision. If you're thinking about getting married, take that decision. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Do watch this video about nakshatras and how to get best from them. This is a whole playlist. This will always be handy for all of you. Thank you. Namaste. Shubhamastu.